Hey everyone. Okay, so today's podcast was supposed to be all about race week, and instead it kind of goes here, there, and a little bit of everywhere. But I hope that you still enjoy listening to today's mini, and I hope to tune in next week again for a post-race follow-up and summary and all the adventures that happen in this week ahead. Can't wait. Thanks again. My why. First of all, a lot of it was trying something new, trying something different, and discovering through the training and through the completion of such athletic endeavors a lot about myself. When you start to push yourself further than you believe that you could, you really begin to unlock your own barriers. Hey, it's your host, Brittany, and welcome to the Mom Sweat Sanity podcast, where we talk all things life, health, fitness, kids, relationships, you name it, nothing is off the table. A little bit of just me and a whole lot of knowledgeable guests. So throw on your Lulus to run or to mom, grab yourself a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, and join us as we unpack life's pressing topics and learn a little bit more of the who, what, whys of it all. Or at the very least, get real, share some wisdom, and grab practical tips to help in our daily lives. Okay, friends, so today I decided to record a podcast on race week. This week on Sunday, I am racing Victoria 70.3 Ironman, and I am getting really excited. I'm trying to keep the nerves low and the excitement vibrating high just to stay positive. I have had a little bit of a cold and lung things going on the last few weeks, but I am starting to feel better, coughing less, and I am ready to show up and get to the start line. So a few of you had different questions, and so I thought it would be a lot of fun today to kind of put them on here instead of just answering them individually by text or on Instagram. Here we go. I am going a little bit back through my training, and then we'll get to what I am doing this race week and how I am setting myself up for hopeful, excellent success in my race upcoming this weekend. Today is Tuesday. It feels like a Monday over here because we had a stat yesterday, but I am getting back into all things and getting my mind set up. So I started training for Victoria at the very end of January. It's been a bit of a long training block for a 70.3 for myself. I did the Indian Wells 70.3 at the beginning of December 2021, and I trained for that for 8 solid weeks. It was, I find mentally for me, a great time frame. I have been kind of fading in the excitement of my training over the last few weeks. And to be honest, I'm not sure if that's just because of my energy levels not feeling that great and overall fatigue that has also aided in that. Also living here in Vancouver, our weather has been shit. So lots of rain, not very nice bright days, and that's definitely been waning on the mood for sure. So this past weekend, we had some sunshine, and I definitely felt the vibrations raising in a super positive way. And I'm just trying to get into all things this weekend. I am not allowing myself to look too much at the weather and just going for, I can't change it anyway, so let's just show up and do what I can do. I have put in the training for this, and as I was saying, it seems like it has been a bit of a longer training block. But however, I do know that I have gained strength. I have increased my FTPs, which for all of you that aren't really sure what that means is basically upping my threshold levels and my output on my bike. So I have become a bit of a stronger rider. I have definitely become quicker on my feet in the run. And so hoping that these all can translate on race day as well. Swimming is always my weakness. I'm definitely not as strong in the pool, and I also do not put in the time in the pool. It is the one place that mentally I just have struggles getting to, and often open water swimming, I don't have a lot of opportunity to do and practice anywhere else other than at race venue. So we'll just take that one as it goes. I know my kind of MO on this type of thing is get in the water, have a little panic, and then just settle in and count my strokes. And so I know what I do, so I'm just going to keep on doing me, I suppose. So that's my training. I'm excited. I think I've done the work, and this week is taper week, which means I have smaller workouts all week just to move my body to push a little bit at the top end of this week. Today I had a very quick 35-minute run, and that's all I was doing for today, but it was at a quicker tempo. Tomorrow I'm in the pool, and so every day is just less and less, but low intensities to really rest the body in reserve for Sunday. So I'm very excited to be in a taper week and to have these lower flows for sure. It finds me with a lot of extra time in my day at the moment, which I'm sure my husband is excited about because all weekend I was cleaning. So I'm being a bit more productive. But with taper week also comes different emotions and different feelings. So we also often refer to different things that come up as phantom pains. All of a sudden you're feeling different aches and pains that you weren't before, and sometimes they're bigger than you think they should be. So kind of reading into those a little bit more, trying to ignore those. So far, so good. And also just making sure that I'm fueling my body for success this weekend. There was a few questions on that. And actually, I just got off the phone with a girlfriend. And prior to that, I was on the phone with a client talking about nutrition for race week as well as race day. So this week, I don't really change too much until 2 to 3 days out of my race. So this week, I'm just trying to make sure that I am getting appropriate calorie intake in, getting my proteins in, lots of hydration, trying to cut back on all the things that aren't as positive for my body, obviously, the sugars, the booze, etc. And then 2 to 3 days out from my race, I will begin to uptake a few different things. So I'm going to start by increasing my good carbs by probably around 400 grams per day for 2 and 3 days out of my race. So examples of the good carbs are some oatmeal, quinoas, brown rice, sweet potatoes are always good too. Things that nourish your body, but don't take a lot extra to process and also don't turn into sugars. And also to make sure that these days, 1 to 3 days out of my race, are lower fat to keep the gut happy as I am going to be obviously pushing the gut on race day. I will also 1 to 2 days out start to slightly salt my meals a little bit extra just to get that extra salt in there because I will be obviously using a lot of electrolytes. In Vancouver, Victoria, as I said, our weather has not been optimal, so I'm not too concerned about the heat so much. That was a big thing for me racing in the fall or in December down in Ironman Indian Wells because it was 95 degrees and it was very hot. So for that type of a race, I am pre-fueling with some salt tabs. And then during the race, also making sure I am taking a lot of salt tabs. I will take a few on race day this time for extra salt, but nowhere near my fueling plan for Indian Wells. I will be upping my water intake over the next few days and then going back 1 to 2 days out and not over consuming water because I don't want to be overhydrated with the plain water. So those are a few things in terms of the fueling consumption leading up to my race. I also had a few questions on why. Why I do this and how I find the motivation to do this. Those kind of are two in the same and completely different all at the same. So why I do triathlon. I originally got into triathlon in maybe the start of 2010. After each one of my pregnancies, each one of our kids were born, I set myself a goal to kind of push my body, learn something new, and get back in shape. So I did a marathon once my son was born. And then while I was pregnant with our first daughter, our middle child, in 2009, I came across the world of triathlon via a few friends and decided that this was going to be my next endeavor, that I was excited to try this. So like I guess I do, I just dove right in. I had never ridden a road bike, so that was a new thing. I had never swam in any sort of like competitive realm or anything. My dad was a big swimmer. He still is a swimmer, but it was a learning experience for me. I would go to the pool and my dad would meet me there and teach me how to do laps and get my distance up. So it was a lot of learning and a lot of fun. But I dove right in. Instead of doing a sprint or Olympic distance or anything of that nature, I decided I was just going to sign up for a 70.3 distance triathlon. And so maybe 9 months later, after my daughter was born, my husband and I towed the start line at our first 70.3. And since then, I have competed in a few different triathlons. I have completed one full Ironman, and this weekend will be my 7th 70.3 distance. I still have yet to do a sprint or an Olympic, and actually this year I was kind of thinking that would be fun to do and something different to try, but to be continued on that. So my why, first of all, a lot of it was trying something new, trying something different, and discovering through the training and through the completion of such athletic endeavors a lot about myself. When you start to push yourself further than you believe that you could, you really begin to unlock your own barriers. There's something about comfort zones and pushing past those comfort zones where you learn more about yourself than you ever realized you could. And when you're on that other side, you also wonder, what the fuck took you so long? Pardon the language, but there's so much more out there when we get past the complacency in life, in sport, in anything. And for me, in sport, I have a competitive edge. I enjoy pushing myself and learning what I am capable of and experiencing all the things. So anyways, that's why I enjoy doing triathlon. I enjoy doing epic shit. I love pushing boundaries. A few years ago, my girlfriends coined me, I guess, hashtag blame Brittany, because I was always the one that would round us all up and go do some epic adventures. And for a while, I was a little bit like, okay, yeah, like, haha, funny girls. But now I am owning that. Blame me all you want if at the end of the day you say thank you, if at the end of the day you learned something about yourself, and at the end of the day we always had so much fun. So bring on more Blame Brittany girls, because it's time to start doing more epic shit together. Lastly, I am just going to tie this one all together for this episode, and maybe I'll come back next week post race and give you a bit of a race report, but I'm here to relax and recover. There's nothing more I can do in my training this week. I am going to be laying out all my stuff starting tomorrow to make sure that I don't miss anything in my bag, in my transition bags, as I get in the car and board the ferry to head over to Victoria. Another big thing I really have to mention is that you don't just show up to race day and get to race. It takes months of lead up to get there, but it also takes months of lead up and support. And so for me, support in my family, from my husband, to help me make the time to do something like this for myself and be supported by them all and have them all as my cheerleaders means so much. And also to have community surrounding this sport. So for me, that means having friends that are super supportive, having a friend that's going to be towing the start line with me on Sunday as well. And then also having recently come across a new community of fantastic women, the Betty Squad, being a part of that and having the connection there and similar mindsets and everyone wanting to push and elevate and have excitement around sport has just been such a fun thing. And I experienced that in Indian Wells on race day. And I can't wait to have that camaraderie again on Sunday as a bunch of us get to race together again. So I will leave it on this note, that the only thing that we have in the world is right now, and nothing is certain. And I have to trust in what I have done and trust in the process. And in that, I am going to continue to make myself proud. And in life, asking ourselves the hard questions, in life, showing us that we can show up for the hard things allows us to show up for ourselves and to be able to constantly answer what we are truly capable of in this life. So thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to be back here to have a fun race report. And thank you. Until next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to share it. See you next week. You can find me on Instagram at MomSweatSanity.